Hey guys, and welcome to Gwent, the Witcher card game. My name is Jaggerus, and today I have a ranked Skellige deck for you, and that is the harmful Harald Axemen deck. Now, I personally don't play a whole lot of Skellige on the ladder. I prefer to play other factions, but this is a deck that I encounter really often as an opponent. And basically the gist of this deck is that you play your Axemen, and then they gain 1 strength whenever an opposing unit is weakened. So then you spend ages weakening your opponent, buffing up your Axemen, and then on the next turn you can resurrect them with your Priestesses of Freya, with your Sigdrifa, with your Restore. Like, we've got 5 different resurrection cards here, for example. So yeah, this is kind of my version of the deck, and we'll start with the gold cards. So gold cards, we've got Igni. I really like Igni. I think that it's really strong. The ability to destroy units on a row is really nice. You can kind of choose which row to play it on, so it's very targeted. And I really like it. This is one of the cards that I think is like the must craft legendary. If I was going to say craft one legendary, I would say craft Igni, personally. Now, if you don't have Igni or you don't want to run Igni, you can always run Burner instead. Burner is nice just for getting card advantage, so it's nice to have that option. However, we are running some different cards to, maintain card advantage. Then we have Coral. Coral spawns the appropriate weather effect on the opposite row. You can't play her on the front row, so you can't get Frost out of this, but you can get Fog and Rain, and it's just quite useful. There's often situations where you get much more than 6 power from Coral, and because she doesn't spawn it on your row, you don't really have to worry about that. Then we have our cards which synergize with our Axemen. We have Yennefer the Conjurer. At the start of your turn, remove 1 strength from the strongest opposing non-gold units. So each turn, she'll zap a unit, it'll lose 1 strength, and the Axemen will get buffed. And if multiple units have the same max strength, she zaps all of them, so they get really buffed. Then we have Wild Boar of the Sea. Remove 3 strength from a non-gold unit, then 2, then 1. So this is 3 separate attacks, which means your Axemen get buffed 3 times. And you can actually use this on the same target or on different targets. So what's really nice about this is that you'll remove 3 strength from a unit, and then you could hit the same unit 3 times and do 6 damage to 1 unit, killing it, but also buffing your Axemen 3 times. Now, we're using Harald the Cripple. If you're going to run an Axemen deck, you need to have Harald the Cripple, because his leader ability is that he removes 2 strength from all opposing non-gold units, which then also buffs all of your Axemen. So, this just makes sense here. Then if we move on to our silver cards, this is where lots of different players like to run different things. So we have Blue Boy Lugos. You spawn a Spectral Whale on a random row on the opposite side. The whale then moves randomly between the rows and removes 1 strength from all other non-gold units on that row. So what you can basically do is throw that out, and then that's going to start dealing damage and buffing your Axemen. You can kind of see the theme here. Then we have Ogvist. After 4 turns, remove 1 strength from all opposing non-gold units. Then return Ogvist to your hand and set it to base strength to 6 and remove its ability. So I like Ogvist because if it does trigger, you also get it back in your hand, which can help you maintain card advantage. Other players I know like to run different cards. For example, Holger Blackhand, remove 2 strength from 3 non-gold units. So that is like 3 different units you can hit with this and gain strength. And he's kind of like a silver archer. But I really like Ogvist because it forces your opponent's removal onto your Ogvist, and also if it does trigger, you get card advantage, which is really useful. We have Sigdrifa, resurrect a non-gold non-permadeath unit, gain 1 strength whenever a unit is played on your side from either graveyard. So I like this because you can it's just an extra resurrect for your Axemen to make sure you get them out there. Then we have Restore, add 2 to the base strength of a non-gold non-permadeath unit in your graveyard, then resurrect it. So you add 2 base strength and then resurrect it. So that's kind of our resurrections. Then we have Decoy. So Decoy is nice because you can use it to replay, Blue Boy Lugos. You can use it to replay Sigdrifa. You can use it to replay one of your Priestess of Freyas. You can use it to replay your archers. There's lots of different cards in this deck that actually work really nicely getting replayed. And that's something that I really like here. And then we have Donar and Hinder. Gain weather immunity, draw a card. You may keep it or discard it and draw another. So this is for card advantage again, similar to Ogvist. And that's all of our silvers. So on to our bronzes. So special cards, we have a Lacerate. Lacerate, remove 3 strength from all non-gold units on a row. So if a row is really stacked, you can Lacerate it, and that damage is also going to, buff your Axemen, so that's nice. We've got 1 Alza's Thunder, remove 7 strength from a non-gold unit. That's just for targeted draw for, really problematic cards, whether it be, a Cow Carcass, or, an Arrakis or a Vranamore or something. It's just nice to have 1 target removal in here. And I mean, synergizing that with Wild Boar of the Sea, we actually have 2. Then we have 1 Stammel for the Tremors. Remove 2 strength from 6 random non-gold units. Again, that's going to trigger on our Axemen. And we have 1 First Light. First Light clears, if you get Clear Skies, it clears all of the weather effects. So this is our option for weather. Now, in terms of the special cards, you can kind of, go with what you want. If you find you're going into a lot of weather, maybe add a First Light and take out an Elsa's Thunder. Or, maybe you feel like Lacerate isn't being as useful as, say, Stammelford Tremors, so you could always add another one of those. You've got kind of choices here, but these are the ones that I like to run. We've got our 3 Axemen, obviously. Then we have our 2 Raging Berserkers. Transform into a Raging Bear if weakened but not destroyed. A Raging Bear has 11 strength. And it's also actually a really nice target for Resurrection, if you happen to have spare Resurrects. And the 11 strength bear, the way you can trigger this is with your Clan Brockvar Archer. Gain weather immunity, remove 1 strength from 3 non-gold units. So you can shoot your own units with this. So you could use the Archer to shoot the Berserker, and then also 2 units on the other side, triggering that into 11, and also buffing these guys, for example, by 2. We have our Priestesses of Freya for resurrecting. That's kind of, you know, self-explanatory. And that's more or less the deck, you guys. So we're going to jump into a game now, and I'll show you the deck in action. And if you like this deck, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button.
My men know the meaning of sacrifice.
Up and at 'em, lazy mingers! You'll sleep when you're dead!
Okay, we're up against Morvran, which means we can expect a lot of spying units. That means that Brockvar Archers are really useful to hold on to. In terms of the mulligan, what we're effectively looking for here is our Axemen. So we're going to start by mulliganing a Raging Berserker. And we mulligan the Raging Berserker before the First Light, because if we mulligan the First Light, we had a chance of drawing another Raging Berserker, basically. So then we'll mulligan the First Light, Okvist, and then we'll mulligan the Lacerate, I think. Priestess of Freya. That's really annoying, not getting an Axeman. What it means is that the first round we're probably not going to look to win. We do have our, what's it called, Brockvar in hand. So, you know, we can always play him and then, you know, gain card advantage and pass. It really depends on what he plays and what we've kind of got here. But yeah, really unfortunate hand that we didn't see in a single Axeman. So we'll open with Donar. And we'll take Sigdrifer. Now, what's interesting here is whether he chooses to play a card or whether he thinks that, you know, I have a plan here. Now, opening with the spy is kind of interesting because then they're not really sure what to do. Do they keep playing? Do they pass? He should definitely pass because we don't intend to play any more cards. Because we want to try and find the cards that we need. Though saying that, I was going to say we could Coral, but we can't because he's weather immune. Go on, play a card. Come on. You can do it.
You talked enough.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I can't play anything. That was a nice choice because that goes back into his deck. So he can definitely play her again. And with Morvran, you have lots of deck thinning, so he is likely to find her. The issue here is obviously that we didn't get an Axeman, so we have to kind of play around the fact that we don't have an Axeman, which means that, you know, he got that round very, very easily. And we got to hope that of the 14 cards here, we'll find one. Holy crap, this is very, very unfortunate. Okay, we're just going to have to make do without the Axeman. What is an Axemen deck without Axemen? Well, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. What can we play? Let's open with the Okvist. We could kill this because this is kind of annoying. They're going to get quite buffed. So maybe we just straight remove that. Oops. So yeah, let's just remove the Brigade. He's basically going to play a lot of Spies and then buff the Brigade. This is the deck that I made a video for 2 days ago, basically. So, you know, we kind of know how to counter it at the very least. What you got? And we also still have Wildboar of the Sea, so we still have some removal. And we have 2 Clan Brockvar Archers, which we can use to kill any cow carcasses that he throws our way. The problem, honestly, is like, because we don't have any play, we didn't really play any cards last turn, we then kind of don't have a lot of options in terms of, we don't have a lot of options in terms of resurrecting anything either. So then the Priestess of Freya's and the Sigdrifer are kind of dead cards. And there you go. You can see the kind of strategy that is going on here. I think what we'll play now is we'll just play Okvist. Okvist kind of encourages him to pass because people don't like to play against it. The problem, honestly, is we just did not draw a single Axeman. But, you know, what can we do? We'll also play Lugos. And now we're kind of playing all of our damage cards this round without, you know, getting a benefit from them. Well, we're getting the damage, but we're not getting the extra point each time it happens, which is a little frustrating.
The Empire, our cause.
Okay, so Fake Siri is annoying because he's going to get her back, and the longer this round goes on, obviously, the more value he'll get out of her. But the way we can counter this is we can just put Rain in the back row. But we'll hold off on doing that for the time being. I think we're just going to play one of our archers. I do expect him to play... what are they called? Rot Tossers, but we have an archer to deal with that, so we have an option should we choose to try and get rid of a cow carcass.
A bit of bloodletting.
A shame I have no time.
I warned you.
Yep, so that's resilience going straight onto the Imperial Brigade. That's not really surprising in the slightest, to be honest. I think for now we've got 5 units. We could play Tremors. Normally it hits 6 units and this will only hit 5, but I think, you know, we only lose out on 2 damage there. And we do really want him to pass. It would be quite nice if he would pass. Unfortunately, we did just kill our Lugos. We got our Okvis back. We're just going to play out the Okvis just as a kind of filler card. He doesn't need to win this round, so maybe he's just trying to drain cards out of me. And the fact that, you know, he thinks he'll get the 8 back makes him feel quite confident.
A highly curious case.
Your humble servant.
I mean, what we could have done is we could have resurrected the Emissary and played it on him and gotten a bronze card. That actually would have been a smart decision. Because if we resurrect the Emissary, we have a chance of getting an Axeman. So let's just play this card for now.
Freyr is patient,
Grab this.
but she brooks
Play it
no
on his
insult.
side. We've now got a really nice road to lacerate. Into an Axeman. Finally, we found one. So we have that out. Which means that if we play Tremors this round, you know, we're going to get decent value out of that. So that's quite nice. He's going to lock my Axeman now. Of course he is. Of course. Ah, it is what it is, you guys. It is what it is. So we can either weather the middle row or the front row. I think for now, we're going to lacerate that row. Let's get a lot of points out of that. He's going to get his 10 back, and he's going to keep a 13 into the next round. But all in all, I'm feeling kind of confident that we'll at least win this round.
Not all battles need end in bloodshed.
Right, we've only got special cards in the graveyard, which means we can't play either of these. Cantarella is nice, but then often they just play a card which pulls it back to their side. I think what we'll do is we will coral. But the question is, do we coral the middle row or the back row? I think we coral the middle row because it's worth more points. He's going to get Ciri back. But as it is, that's totally fine. I imagine he will now pass. The problem is I don't really want to, you know, play more cards. I'm getting into a situation where playing more cards is going to be really awkward because of kind of what's going on. I think he just intends to win with this 15. But it is what it is. We have to play Harald. We can't pass because as soon as we pass, he'll probably do things that, you know, give him more cards. And that's something that we don't want to happen. We do have card advantage, which is nice. He's going to get his 13 strength Ciri back. Here you go. You can keep it. And then we go into the not last round. He does keep 13 points on the board, which is going to make it harder for us. But at least with the Skellige passive, you know, we do get buffed as the round goes on. And there's another Axeman. Oh, well, thank God for that. So we'll pop him out. We'll resurrect his friend. And then we'll start shooting him, basically. Yennefer. So here's the resurrect. And we will resurrect the other Axeman, because by resurrecting it, it loses its lock. So out that goes, which is nice. They are getting zapped, which is annoying. Tibor is a 22, and we got another Axeman. I mean, each of these is going to get buffed a few points each time we do this, but the Yennefer is kind of a problem here. And he's passed. Okay. The problem is we obviously don't have a lot of targets for the Brockvar Axeman. Archer, sorry.
Modern Freyr
We'll play this.
patient, but she
And we will
no
resurrect.
insult.
I think we resurrect the Emissary, to be honest. Gives us another target.
Please wait,
And on
Your
top of that, it
Excellency.
has a chance of giving
Falling
us,
behind.
you know, a better card. We got
We
this one.
serve her who is virgin, mother,
the
and
archer.
queen.
And we will shoot this unit, and this unit. Brings us up to 36. Then out goes our last card. We'll shoot this unit, and this unit. Hey, and look at that, we win the round. So even though we didn't find Axemen until basically the final round, we still had enough points to win. And you can see that even if you get a really unfortunate draw, which we did get, there's definitely still ways to earn points with this deck. And you kind of don't necessarily need the Axemen bonus to win, because you have so much damage anyway, you can still kind of get points out. Anyway, I'm going to jump into another game, and I'll showcase this deck once more for you guys.
Naivety is a fool's blessing. Here's the better loot than in your wildest, wettest dreams!
So, we're up against Gills, which to me says Consume Monster. In terms of our mulligan, we are looking for our Axemen. So, we're going to mulligan a Raging Berserker first. And we got one. We could really do with a second one, though. Let's see what else we have in hand. We've got lots of gold cards, lots of damage. So I think we can afford to mulligan our Brockvar Archer as well. We got a decoy. I mean, we can decoy Sigdrifa, which is like a nice option. I think what I'm going to mulligan here is the Elzevir Thunder. Holy smokes. All 4 golden cards. And 5 silver cards. Like, the only bronze card we got was 1 Axeman. Oh, Jesus Christ, right. Okay, out goes the Axeman. We'll make this work. We do have Coral, which is really nice here. Because we have options with that. Sigdrifa's coming out. And we're just bringing that straight back. It's important to have it on the board. And we can always decoy the Sigdrifa should they remove it again. You know, we do have options with this. We're going to put Yennefer out now. Starting to deal pressure to our opponent. And like I say, the first round is actually when you do intend to win here. The one thing we do need to do, I was going to say, is we should probably kill this. We can actually kill this with Wild Boar of the Sea. So that is a nice option for us. So I think what we'll do for now is we will pop out the Wild Boar of the Sea. And we'll start hitting this Arrakis. Now what's interesting is his leader ability is basically the opposite of my leader ability. So I'm going to actually beat him if I play this. I think what we'll do to win the game is... What do we play here? This is a good question. There's no point playing Igni. We can't play Okvist. There's nothing to resurrect. I guess we play Okvist and then lose him. Unless we just decoy the Sigdrifa, which will give her 2 points. I think we just decoy the Sigdrifa, even though there's nothing to kind of resurrect. It's a waste of a decoy, to be honest. But it will win us the round. So I think we will take it, basically. We're 1 card down, but we do have, like I say, we do have our Donar in hand. Hopefully we'll find another Axeman here. It would be a nice draw to gain. Then we can kind of get set up for, you know, subsequent rounds. Out comes the Necker. Our units will get buffed. And we got 2 archers. Okay. So the thing is, in this situation, we can't really resurrect. We've only got 1 resurrect, so we don't want to use it now. So I think what we're just going to do is throw out our Donar for now. And we will keep this Axeman. So we'll get him in our hand. Gilles can't pass, because if he passes, then basically what happens is we will win. So he can't afford to pass. So he's going to have to play more cards. But in playing more cards, you know, he's going to have a little bit of an awkward time. He's playing Harpies, so actually what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put my Axeman out. I've got the Brockvar Archer, and I can always Igni the Donar and Hinder. So we actually have options here for how we take this round. There's a Behemoth. Okay, so out comes the... Do we go for the Restore first? I think we go for the Restore. He's going to eat the eggs. No, we need the Restore for the last round. So we'll bring this one out. We'll shoot him. We'll shoot you. And we'll shoot... you. There we go. Get lots of points. The eggs are dead. We have another Archer in hand. I think what we'll do here is we'll play Okvist, then we'll play our Archer. So... Oh, actually, no. Let's play our Archer, then Okvist.
Keep together.
So we'll shoot some more eggs. And this guy in the background. And this is basically stopping his Harpy strategy, which is also a really nice benefit of these Archers. He's decoying that. He's going to eat something. What's he going to eat? The Necker. And out starts to come the Arrakis. So time for Igni, I think. We're just going to Igni our own cards. But basically that gives us a 18-point swing. And, you know, I didn't necessarily intend to win this round, but at the moment we're just kind of draining cards out of him. You know, we've got Resurrect in hand. We've got some nice kind of options. And you can tell that he's thinking about using Gilles here. We'll pop the Okvist out. If 4 turns go round, which will happen if we play all of our cards, then it'll deal 1 damage to all of his cards. We've also got Weather, so we can kind of combine that with the Okvist. Basically play the Weather just before the Okvist triggers and deal a lot of damage, which is nice. What this does mean is we probably should have resurrected our... Axemen. He's now going to take the Axemen, which means we have literally nothing to resurrect. You can't resurrect Sigdrifa because she's a thing unit, so that is something. Unless what we do is we Coral the middle row and then we play Harald. So let's do that.
I can do a great deal.
What this means is it'll kind of force him to play his Gilles ability. And you can see that the weather effect actually also buffed the Axemen. And we got a lot of points there.
Let's get this over with.
He's Ignied my 18, but I mean, I'm about to kill all of his units. So I feel like this is totally fine. We'll play Harald.
Up and at 'em, lazy mingers! You'll sleep when you're dead!
We now have 29 points and he has 23. He's played Karen, so he actually has 31. The thing is, there's not very good cards to eat with Karen. And because Karen is golden, he won't keep it, which means he's going to keep an Arrakis, basically. You know, we have a Resurrect in hand, and his lead ability isn't going to be very useful because he's not going to have any cards to kind of trigger it on. Unfortunately, we need one more round to get Okvist back, so what we could do is we could play this and get Okvist back and have a 7 in hand. But, you know, we're going to have 6s in our graveyard anyway, so it's kind of the same value, so we may as well just pass here. And, like, normally I wouldn't say, you know, commit this hard on the second round. Normally, you know, you're just kind of maybe resurrecting a bear, for example, on the second round. But with the way that this game was going, I actually felt pretty confident in terms of resurrecting here. He's really relying on top decking. And we top decked a resurrect. What do we got in our graveyard? We have an 8 strength Okvist, a 6 strength Axemen, and 2... let's see. So we could resurrect the Axemen and then a archer. That's probably the best play. Alternatively, we resurrect just 2 archers and kind of deal damage with them. He's going to have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points.
This will come as a surprise.
So he's going to have 11 points. So we just have to beat 11 points. He doesn't have any damage. So we can kind of do what we want here. Let's resurrect our Axemen. Out it goes. He's going to Gheals his units. They're going to gain 4 points. We then play our Restore. What do we want to resurrect? Let's just resurrect Okvist. And he's forfeited. So there you go. And that's kind of how you win. And in both of those games, I didn't end up using my original intended strategy, which was Axemen first turn, which then passed turn 2, and then Axemen turn 3. We did Axemen first turn, but, you know, turn 2 got a little bit weird, and then here we are, basically. And that's the deck. That is the self-harm deck. It can kind of adapt. You saw just, you know, how adaptable the deck was, and it still kind of wins, which is really nice. So those are kind of things to kind of be aware of. But, you know, you saw the versatility of the archers, for example. We use them against harpy eggs. You could use them against rot tossers and cow carcasses, for example. And also the synergy between stuff like, you know, Coral and your leader ability, or Coral and Okvist. There's a lot of kind of options that you have there that are worth being aware of. Anyway, guys, this has been the Harmful Harald Axemen deck. I've been Jaggerus, and if you like this video, do hit that thumbs up button. You can also rate the decks on Gwentify and GwentDB. And you can catch me live streaming Gwent Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at twitch.tv/Jaggerus. I'm on Twitter at Jaggerus. Thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day, and I'll hopefully catch you guys in the next one. Bye!